Certainly the pace of Daka is there and clear to see, and that's what created the opening here. The goalkeeper unsure. And when the clearance came, it was a snapshot, looped over the bar.
Yeah, as you say, keeper made a bit of a hash of that, in all fairness. John really should have done better, but he didn't. As you say, almost capitalised. Good first touch to set up that volley. Great technique, you have to say, as well. Just slightly over the bar. Good start for him.
Just 18 years of age, Tawanda Maswinis. Only played one game in Premier League 2. Was on the bench, as I mentioned, for the first team at Manchester United. Played 20 games in the under-18 Premier League. 1 goal, 6 assists. He's the son of former Zimbabwean sprinter Jeffrey Masuansi. Big opportunity for the 18-year-old to impress in front of Brendan Rodgers as Brayford looks for the long ball down the line. It's one of the summer recruits, Shalashi, who was on the chase. This is for Fafana for the Foxes. Madison takes the ball in his stride and turns away and releases Masuansi, and it's a ball in just behind Daka. Flag was up anyway. Leicester just starting to find their groove, maybe, Jerry.
Yeah, that was a good phase of play. James Madison, lovely pick up, one touch of control. Massa wants in, and he's just played it behind us. Maybe just got a slight deflection off the Burton defender, but it was good movement off the ball. That's exactly what Brendan was looking for. Beginning with Madison, finding that space, and then the ball out to the left, the ball into the box with the run of Daka. Almost coming off.
Ball high in the air. Atkins leaping. 2 Burton players going for that one, including Shalaja. Smith to Brayford. Mancien. They could be in here with Kane Hemmings. Bertrand and Fafana doing Leicester's defensive duties, but here come Leicester again. Early ball in by Brayford. It's come all the way through to Atkins, who has teed the ball back to Tom O'Connor. Brought in the summer from Southampton, a left-footed shot, curling, but not curling enough.
Yeah, it was well set up for him, and you can see the reaction in his face. Decent effort, you have to say, but you can see the reaction. He knows he probably should have been hitting the target at least. Atkins with a nice touch, setting him up for that shot.
Burton's 3 games so far, 2 wins, 1 defeat. The defeat came on Tuesday, 2-1 at Scunthorpe. 1 on their travels, 3-1 at Nuneaton and 3-0 at Bognor Regis. Madison seemed to be caught, but referee waving play on as it's with Rashid Ghezzal on the far side. Chowdhury. Sumare. Ghezzal in space on the right side. 18 assists last season for Beşiktaş in the top flight of the Turkish league. The season before that, spent most of it on loan at Fiorentina. Madison is down. He was caught earlier on where Mike Dean did wave play on. In fact, he's having a word now with the player that committed that foul, which was Jacob Maddox. Gives a chance for the players to come over and grab a drink.
Yeah, if you see here, he just gets the ball cut underneath his feet, doesn't he? Can't move it, and again, you know, it's a full-blooded challenge, isn't it, for Maddox? Obviously catches Madison, and I suppose at this stage of the pre-season, John, well, there's no real, you know, I'm not saying reason why he should stay on the pitch if he's feeling it, you know.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want as a manager in a pre-season friendly is one of your top players especially getting injured, and you know, if he keeps playing on, it could become worse and worse as the game goes on. Thankfully he's okay by the looks of it.
I think you saw Brendan's reaction then, just checking with the medical staff that it wasn't too serious. Certainly plenty of options on the substitutes bench. 25 players brought to the Pirelli Stadium. Not sure how they all fitted in the changing rooms. Fafana was a slided in, but the foul had already been given. Burton back in action here next Friday. They take on another Premier League side in Newcastle United before they kick off their campaign with an away game at Shrewsbury. And then in the league, back-to-back home games early in the season against the big hitters of Sunderland and Ipswich. Fofana. All the way through to goalkeeper Ben Garrett, who signed a new 2-year deal in the summer. Former Crewe Alexandra goalkeeper, former England under-19 international. This is Tom O'Connor. Joined from Southampton after his release from St Mary's Stadium. That will be a throw-in. It will go the way of Leicester, which Brayford not overly impressed with in his had 3 spells with Burton Albion. John Brayford, for a while, seemed to follow Nigel Clough around, former Burton manager. He was at Sheffield United and at Derby. Due to Fofana, cross to Ricardo. Temperatures not quite as they were during the week when they were into late 20s, early 30s, but players will certainly be feeling the warmth. There is a slight breeze in the air, which I'm sure they'll be delighted about after a tough week of pre-season training in the searing heat.
I think I'd have thrown one in, John, if it was still in the 30s, the heat. I think the players will be very, very relieved that it's not the temperatures of last week. That is for sure coming into today's game.
It's quite overcast on the way down, but it has brightened up and the sun has appeared prior to kick-off. Soumaré certainly seen plenty of the ball, the newcomer from Lille.
Yeah, looks comfortable, doesn't he? Looks as if he's got a picture in his head when the ball's coming to him. He knows what he's doing with it.
Sure Fofana did there as it whizzes beyond Maddison. Smith losing out, throw in to Leicester.
He's a little bit off the pace, isn't he, Wesley? He's had a missed time clearance and a couple of misplaced passes, but you know you're gonna get that, and you'll see that a lot throughout pre-season again. It's all about honing, you know, those skills that you possess as a player, and so this is where you get rid of all the badness, all the rustiness, shall we call it.
Another misplaced pass there by Mazwanis behind Maddison. Here's trialist. Back to the number 6 once again. And it comes across to Michael Mancienne. Moved on from Chelsea to Nottingham Forest, then over to Hamburg, then had a spell at New England Revolution. Was Chelsea's Young Player of the Year in 2009. Collected 30 England under-21 caps. Such was his potential. O'Connor scooping the ball down the line. And it might fall here. Fofana needs to be on guard as a shot comes in, and it's a good save from Eldin Jakupovic. I think it was Tom Hamer coming in down that left side, got it onto his right foot. The first real efforts of this game going the way of the hosts, and it needed a very good save, an important save from Eldin Jakupovic.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Wesley Fofana just caught wanting a little bit defensively there. And be fair to him, lovely close control. Always constantly shifting the ball, left foot, right foot. And it's a decent shot, good save from Jakupovic, who's literally done nothing the whole match. Pulls off a good save.
Corner which Maddox will take. Everyone back in blue. In front of the Blue Army, behind that goal. Low delivery, which Mancienne gets to, but sends it into the Leicester fans. Finally, we have a chance to talk about, chance to discuss, and a very good save from the 36-year-old Bosnian goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, strong left hand. As I said, hasn't really done. Well, he hasn't done really anything apart from pass the ball out a couple of times. And then, called straight into action. Good reactions, good reflexes. so he'll take a lot of confidence from that. But similarly, Tom Hamer on that left-hand side, you know, lovely bit of individual skill from him to set that shot up. Wesley Fofana just struggling to get up to the pace of the game at the minute.
Hamer, who is predominantly a right back, or was on the right-hand side of midfield, but is left back for the moment for Burton. It is a real prospect by Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, came through the Oldham Academy and signed in January. Another one of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's signing that turned Burton's season around. Burton had the 6th worst home record last season in League One compared to the Foxes, who had the 3rd best away record in the Premier League. Manchester City and Manchester United gained more points on the road than the Foxes. Here's Hamer back onto that right foot and looking down the line towards Lucas Aikens. Foul on Fofana. Fans singing the name of the Irishman, Brendan Rodgers. Successive 5th placed finishes for the Foxes. The FA Cup collected in May. Colo Torres now that is sat next. He gives them a wave. I know you can't see it on camera. Jamie Vardy was doing the dance. They've got a repertoire of songs to get through. They've not been able to sing them for about 18 months. They're going to get them all out, maybe even a few new ones as well from the hymn book.
Well, I'd love to have seen that little dance on our TV screens. And what I want to see as well is the fans replicating it when he was dancing.
Maybe, second half, Jamie gets on, gets a goal, we might see a full reenactment. Madison Court again. He's certainly felt the full effects of Deji Shilaja, who joined from Charlton in the summer. As for Fofana, 10 signings in for Burton. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank certainly not ruling out any more as Madison's cushioned header falls into the arms of Ben Garrett. Burton did sign goalkeeper Ellery Balcom on loan from Brentford, not involved today. Kieran O'Hara is the substitute goalkeeper. Balcom did start in the defeat to Scunthorpe earlier in the week. We've missed Wimbledon, but they call these new balls, please, as the initial ball has been sent over the roof on the far side.
Pretty common, I would expect here, John, especially. Single-tiered stand on that far side, well, on all sides, really. Especially on that far side.
You would assume there's a collection of young boys who maybe marshal around that stand every now and again and see what they can collect in terms of souvenirs.
Yeah, absolutely, or else they're going through a hell of a lot of balls every season.
Nudged forward by O'Connor. This is Hemmings. Ricardo with him, and the ball running away for a goal kick.
That's good defending from Ricardo. You think Hemmings is favourite here. Watch Ricardo, great recovery run. Stands on his feet, more importantly. And then Hemmings does the rest and just runs the ball out. But good defensive work from Ricardo.
Hemmings in his 2nd season with Burton, actually born in Burton, but had spells with Tamworth, up in Scotland with Rangers, before moving on to Barnsley, Dundee, Oxford, Notts County. Well travelled.
He's a handful, isn't he? He looks a handful. Big, strong. Likes, backing into defenders. We've seen that a couple of times already.
Atkins will go to close down Ricardo. He's normally an out-and-out striker, but playing on the left-hand side, very much a 4-4-2 for Burton, as it has been throughout their pre-season campaign so far. Bertrand through the legs of Smith. That's when he's fouled by Brayford. Yet to see his or Daka's searing pace after hearing so much about it. Madison taking the ball from Chowdhury. Maybe a chance to see that pace now from Mazouanis. He will keep it in play. Or maybe not. Goal kick given. Midway points of the first half, still waiting for the first goal.
And I've just struggled to get any sort of, passing, consistently in this game. You have to say that Burton, you can see Burton are the more, physical side. They look fitter. Unless their decision making at times just taking too long, and that's why they're struggling to get that passing game going, get any rhythm into their passing, and open Burton up.
Madison looping one back to Jakupovic, former Hull City goalkeeper, starting his 4th season with the Foxes. He's not made a first team appearance since the back end of the 2017-18 season. Played a couple of Premier League games. The last, the 5-4 defeat at Wembley to Spurs. Fofana, good footwork. Ricardo. Daka has gone across to the right, loses out. 16 years since the Pirelli Stadium opened. Built on the former site of the Pirelli UK Tyres Sports and Social Club. It was actually donated to the club in exchange for the naming rights. Leicester have only made that one competitive appearance here, as Daka watches that one drop from the skies and into the arms of Ben Garrett. They did meet here, the two sides, at the head of the 2015-16 season. Leicester won 2-1 in a pre-season game. Vardy got them both. Leicester went on that season to win the Premier League title. Burton went on to get promoted from League Two. History repeating itself would be very nice for both clubs, as Smith ties one up to Brayford, looks for a 1-2, eyes on the referee. Only a goal kick as far as Burton are concerned. Appeals continue. Soyuncu was the Leicester man. Brayford breaking forward the right back. It was his 1-2.
Yes, good play, isn't it? As you say, just gets caught wrong side. Soyuncu very, very lucky to get away with that one, I have to say. Again, just shows difference in fitness levels. Just switching off. There's Soyuncu. Under normal circumstances, you'd expect him to be a little bit more alert than that.
Jakupovic to Fofana. Fofana started the last 11 Premier League games of last season, missed all of February due to injury. Samare. Made 8 appearances in the Europa League for Lille. They went out to Ajax in the last 32, same stage that Leicester went out to Slavia Prague. That added European experience will be vital for the Foxes as they go back into the Europa League next season. 27th of August is the date for your diary for the group stage draw. As Mazouanis loops one over the stand. If there are youngsters behind the goal, they'll be sprinting to try and get the second ball of their afternoon.
Yeah, well, that was better, wasn't it? That was better from Fofana this time. You know, it's a good 50-60 yard ball. Almost lands perfectly for Mazouanis. But he just can't quite control it. But just obviously just feeling his way in as Wesley at the minute.
Leicester throw. A ripple of applause from the Burton fans for the first time in the half. The Leicester fans, a quiet hush behind the goal to our right. Mazwanis away from Brayford, caught by Shalaja. Looks confident enough, the 18-year-old. He's keen to get on the ball.
Yeah, great first touch. You know, under pressure from an experienced campaigner in Brayford, no problem for him. And then the second touch just takes him away, gains a free kick.
Soyuncu, Daka. The run is from Bertrand. Skips away and out for a goal kick.
And we're used to saying that from Bertrand, aren't we, over the years, but that's the first time today he's actually, I think, got over the halfway line. So it just sort of shows you, how the ebbs and flows of this game so far.
He'll turn 32 in August. Leicester's new left back. Had 7 seasons with Southampton, started with Chelsea, made his European debut for Chelsea in the Champions League final. That was a vital touch from Hamer. In fact, it was the trialist. He's taken it through to Garrett.
Again, we're just seeing a few more runs, a few runs from deep, which is good to see. We haven't really seen any of that. So we're just testing out that Burton defence a little bit more.
Ricardo made the challenge, then went down, caught maybe an arm from Aikins in the face, and Mike Dean stopping play due to a potential head injury. Had made the challenge.
Yes, it's a little slap, isn't it? Again, at this level, Lucas Aikins, very accomplished player. Prolific, in fact, for Burton. Just a little handshake between the pair of them. Nothing meant in that.
Twice named Burton Albion Player of the Year, Lucas Aikins. Over 300 appearances now with the club. He's not dancing at the moment. I'm sure we'll see him in the second half. Leicester's leading goal scorer in the league last season. He's the only sub that's made it into the dugout. The remaining subs are all gathered behind the dugouts.
Seniority, yeah. Taking priority, John, and absolutely correct.
Yeah. Burton throw as they make their way down the grounds and down the pitch. Hamer having to go and find the ball himself. He's had the best and maybe the only chance of the game so far. Maddox can turn, and just as he was about to unleash the shot, it was taken off him by Ricardo, but then Maddox again blocked by Bertrand. Ball spinning away for a corner. Maddox nearly had a shot, that was stopped, but when he did get the shot in, it was a decent one, and it needed the saving challenge of Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah, again, a little bit at 6s and 7s, weren't there? Fofana, Soyuncu leaving it for each other, and then Bertrand using all that experience on the front foot. Great block.
Maddox took the earlier corner from the right. He will take this one on the left. Trialist will be the main target, and it is. It's come off the back of his shoulder and fallen into safety. Hamer to take the throw. Back to Trialist, who was the nearest to the early corner. Mancian harassed by Madison. Mazwanis will close down Brayford. See Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank very active. They're coming to the end of their pre-season as a host of Leicester City subs start their warm-up. The youngsters, Fonte Daly-Campbell, Kenya Lashabella, Luke Thomas, Kano Axon, Shitowan, and then the rest of them start to emerge. Meanwhile, at the other end of the field, Soyuncu called into action. And defends well under pressure from Kane Hemmings. Now it's O'Connor. Maddox challenged, and the ball won by Hamza Chowdhury. Now it's Ghezzal. To Samare, it was closed down by Smith. It was knocked forward towards Daka. It was touched by Hamer. Aitkins going back to trialist. Aswanis nearly stole it from Brayford, then Bertrand comes in to assist him. It's rolled through the legs of the youngster. Now it's Bertrand again. Samare. Cool and composed. Ghezzal mentioned the 18 assists. He got 8 goals as well for Beşiktaş in the Turkish league last season. In his first season with the Foxes, managed goals in the Premier League, the League Cup and the FA Cup.
And remember a few of them being spectacular as well, John.
The Fleetwood one in particular. Maybe, although it was a good goal at Newport, but the game itself is certainly one to forget.
Oh, yes.
Mazwanis was trying to reverse ball, and it might still come through to Daka. Smith, 2 runners ahead of him. Here's Ghezzal again. Burton retreat deep into their own half. Samare. Samare again. Mazwanis to Soyuncu. Nicely done by Samare. Loses Maddox for a moment, looks around for the pass, and eventually it's with Fofana.
Just finding it difficult, John. You know, if you look at the way Burton is set up, they've got 10 men in their own half defending.
It's almost like they've flicked a switch and gone, right, let's sit back, as opposed to early in the game, they were pressing quite out the field.
And at the minute, you know, they've just slowed the game right down. And Leicester just obviously trying to find the gaps. Very little space in there.
Fofana breaking forward from the back. Every outfield player is in the half that Leicester are attacking. Ghezzal has the potential to cut in from that side as he finds Chowdhury. Ghezzal again. Born in France, but an Algerian international, Rachid Ghezzal. Cries from the right is to have a shot as when he finds Ghezzal, and he might shoot. Opts to send the ball short to Ricardo. 1-2 with Madison. Ricardo had drifted offside. Well, they kept the ball for an age there, and all of a sudden it looked as though they were going to spark an attack.
Yeah, they just slowly worked their way out the pitch, didn't they? As you said, keeping the ball well, without really hurting Burton, you have to say. And in the end, would have gone away from that in the Premier League.
He'll probably be getting sold off. Hamer. Nearly stealing the ball from Ojalaja. Here's Maddox. To the left is Hamer. There's 3 inside the penalty area. Hamer's right-footed ball into the hands of Eldin Jakubovic.
Just caught a little bit narrow, weren't they, Leicester at the minute? No real quality was there on that cross. It was a cross come shot, no real quality on it. Just showing this foul. He's been quiet, hasn't he, Dak? But as I say, not really the type of game where there's any space for him to get into, to run into in behind, to stretch it. So look pretty solid, Burton, defensively.
Daka was the Austrian Player of the Year, as well as their leading goal scorer. Turns 23 in October. Bertrand has, for the moment anyway, drifted to the far side. Here's Samare. That's when he's Samare onto Bertrand, who's made his way from right to left. Right back to left wing in space of a few seconds.
Yeah, and at the minute, John, that's the only way you can see Leicester breaking those lines is by, you know, deep runs from midfield, you know, and obviously this time it was Bertrand. I see one or two of your midfielders making those breaking runs.
His last competitive goal, December 2019, so certainly not bought for his goals by any stretch, Ryan Bertrand. A few bounces before Jakubovic thumps the ball upfield. Just losing out. Hamer uses his left foot to find Maddox. Fofana with a nudge in the back. Hands on the far side, demanding and gaining a free kick.
He's been a bit of a thorn in Wesley Fofana's side, hasn't he, Maddox? Looks very lively, very bright. You see Wesley just struggled slightly to get up to the pace of the game, which is understandable. You know, we'll have to say that. Maddox just buzzing around. And at the minute, Wesley just can't swat him.
Season-long loan, Maddox from Vitória Guimarães in Portugal. After leaving Chelsea after a number of years, a number of loan spells, including Cheltenham and Tranmere. It's Maddox who takes the free kick. Samare went down. Smith. It's a shot that's gone through two Leicester players before being pushed away by Fofana. Another Burton corner.
Yeah, and that could have very easily ended up in the back of the net. It's a nothing shot, but it's on target, and that's good defending from Fofana. He was alert to that. He was alert to Hemmings running in behind him and knew that he had to get that clearance.
Maddox on set-piece duty again. There's three Burton players lurking at the edge of the area, and it will come out to one of them. This is Aikins. Header will find Maddox. Not sure if that was the intention. He was offside. Five minutes of normal time at the end of the first half.
They've worked on that short corner, that low near post corner a couple of times now, haven't they, Burton? Almost coming off for them.
Aikins to Hemmings. Aikins would like it back. Inside the penalty area, he tries to do it himself. He's fouled by Ricardo, not that the Leicester fullback agrees.
Yeah, he can be a real handful, as I said, Aikins. Just a little lunge, just wrong foots him. Aikins wrong foots Ricardo. He's off balance when he makes that challenge. Not a lot in it, you have to say, but you know, it's good play from Aikins. A real handful he is.
Initially, Smith had joined Maddox over the free kick, but it will be Jacob Maddox to take. Mancienne, trialist who wears 6. Hamer is also demanding the ball at the far post, and it's in towards Hamer. It's his header. It's another good save from Jakubovic, and then it's Smith, and then it's wide. And it's Burton who continue to create the chances, and once again, Jakubovic denying Hamer. It was his header initially, and then it was a snapshot from Smith that fell wide.
Yeah, good deep, quality ball in, deep cross, and that's a good header back across the goal where the balls came from. Textbook header, but again, Jakupovic, as you said, is equal to it. And another important hand, you have to say.
Not seen much action during his time with the club, Eldin Jakupovic, but a key member of the squad and proven his worth there as well, that should he be called upon during the season, he's more than capable, more than ready. New sub in all of the Europa League games last season. Could be his role again this season. Ball from Madison, the touch, then the tackle.
Getting just a little rusty. Seems you expect them balls to stick to him under normal circumstances. He's obviously tried to make up for it. Well, the challenge mistimed that as well.
Free kick that Mancian will take. Clipped in by the defender. As Nice managed to pull his foot away at the vital time there. Although the Burton player, Oshalaja, had bowed down very low. Here he is again, powerful midfielder, can play in defence. Joined from Charlton. Bertrand will use Soyuncu. Lay off first time by Samare. Madison, lovely skill, and then there's a pull on his shorts as well as the tackle. A bit of frustration as well from Leicester City's number 10. He's been on the receiving end of a few tasty challenges in this first half.
Yeah, it's good. That's great feat from Madison to get himself out, and he's getting his shorts tugged from Smith, I think it is, and then another challenge coming in. So you can forgive him for being frustrated at that, because it's great skill from him.
Samare on to Bertrand. Ghezzal out to Ricardo and wants it back. Ghezzal still in space on the right. Madison slides it into the Algerian, fall inside the penalty area. Ghezzal delivers. Brayford's header. Smith able to keep the ball in play. Ghezzal. Mazounis to Madison. We know what he can do from that kind of range, a deflected shot. And that's half-time. Madison claiming a corner or a handball, neither given, but Leicester ending the half in attacking form. And it's a half that ends 0-0. Burton in their fourth pre-season game. No surprise that they probably had the better of that first half. Certainly the fitter of the two sides. Leicester in their first pre-season game, and a personal duel between Ton Hamer and Eldin Jakupovic. Hamer twice been denied by the goalkeeper. The first coming in from the right, a right-footed shot turned away by the Bosnian, and then a header from a corner that was pushed away by Eldin Jakupovic. We expect a host of changes at the half-time interval. We expect a different Leicester City 11 for the second half. The first half has ended Burton 0, Leicester City 0.